taking a bath. That was a long week.
We got the Novec in the mail. We got the aluminum. Roll the footage of us putting it together.
It's welding time. Well, now Tom's going to be here for this.
Oh.
So our welders just weren't powerful enough to weld together this half-inch aluminum, so we came out here to Matson Manufacturing, and he's going to let us use his TIG welder today so we can weld everything together.
The welds are not going well because the heatsink is cooling off too quickly.
So, we got this thing mostly welded together, but because we don't think ahead like at all, when we went to try to put this bulkhead pass-through through this hole, we found out that it won't catch any threads. So we're gonna have to make this material a little bit thinner so that we can force these threads through and get a actual sealed connection. So I'm gonna use this router because we don't have time to use fancy tools with a wood bit with a roller on it and see what happens. Hopefully it explodes in my face. I'm not bleeding. Thin now, but it should be fine. This thing weighs like 1,000,000 pounds.
And it's not even done yet. But as you can see, we have all the metal pieces welded together now. This is going to be the area where the computer goes itself, and this is kind of like the vapor chamber area. And now you can see the cool heatsink design where it's going to blow through. We cut a little bit too far when we were cutting out where the connector goes here. So we're going to have to kind of fill it in with epoxy since we can't really weld that back in, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It still seals against metal, so The epoxy's more of just a spacer.
We're gonna have to fill the actual like tubing area with epoxy anyway, right?
Yeah, of course. But
yeah,
that was always the plan.
yeah. My point is that whole thing's just gonna be an epoxy mess anyway. So shenanigans.
Absolutely.
We really got to thank Matson Manufacturing for letting us use their fabrication bay, even though we have no idea what we're doing. And once we realized we had no idea what we were doing, we really, really got to thank the boys over at M2 Fabrication for finishing this up, because they're insanely good at welding, and I am not, is all I know now.
Yeah. So
what do we got to do next?
Well, next we need to, I guess, cut the pieces of plexiglass, which we've already done, and drill and tap some holes into this metal, cut out a custom gasket for this, which I was planning on using closed cell neoprene foam. I don't know how well it's going to work, but I guess we can always add silicone to it.
Is that going to be like thick and then like crushed down, or is it going to be like just like rubber?
A little bit thick. It's 1/8 of an inch thick.
Nice.
And then we're going to try and pressure test it to see if there's any holes where air could leak out of, because we don't want that.
Then we got to cut a bunch of plexiglass to go in this space to displace the liquid, because we only have a gallon, and I'm fairly certain that this is well over a gallon of space.
Yeah, we can actually use math to figure that one out, but
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think that a gallon fills this thing up like to here or something. So we need to fill up all the empty space so we can actually submerge all the components.
But we're almost there.
Getting closer.